Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/entitledpeople subreddit, so let's jump into it. Holy crap, I have finally met a super Karen. I work as a front desk associate for a privately owned inn. I've been yelled at, called names, yada yada. I've dealt with them. However, yesterday was a surprise. I have nothing against anyone from anywhere, and this is nothing against anyone from anywhere either. A very tall, bleach blonde, older I believe, German woman came in and rang my bell to come to the front. We had one room that wasn't used, but it's a 2 minimum night for walk-ins. However, my boss did say that whoever books the room online, to give it to them for that night. She asked if we had a room. I told her my line about the room. She booked it via online. Okay, no problem. So I check her in. Cool. Not even a half hour later, she comes to the desk and rings the bell again. I do the laundry for the whole place as a second shift employee, and it's down in the basement. I run upstairs and see what's going on. This woman starts yelling at me like a crazy woman about a fly in the pool room. Lol. Well, the inn is in a wooded area, and the area has a ton of lakes. What else do you expect? We are exceptionally clean, and every shift has to mop and clean the whole pool room. I explained this to her as she was dripping wet on the tile and her makeup running. I was pleasant, but she was pressing it. She requested her money back, but we can't do that after you have checked in, and it is in bold, large letters when you sign the paperwork. And I explained this to her as well. So she went and changed back into her clothes, and about 10 minutes later, she rang the bell again, this time 5 or 6 times. I was down in the basement finishing the load of laundry, so I come back up and she continues to yell at me. So I called my assistant general manager and asked her what I should do. She told me to call the general manager. Okay, so I did. Now, my manager is awesome, the most soft-spoken woman and very level-headed. She said she will be there in 15. I told the woman that I had contacted my boss's boss. Good, this lady replied. While I waited for my general manager, I was taking care of a family with 4 kids that wanted to go swimming. This woman interrupted me while I was speaking with them to tell them to not spend any money with us because of a bug problem and because I'm very rude and a bitch. In front of children, mind you. This family comes and swims every Saturday or Sunday. They're regulars. I let them into the pool room and they wished me the best of luck. I laughed. Less than 15 minutes later, my manager pulls up. I point her to the woman. This lady thought she had won with her smug grin towards me. I go back to what I was doing. About 10 minutes later, after the woman very abruptly leaves, I asked my general manager what happened. My manager, bless her for being a short, red-headed, older lady, looks right at me and smiled. She looked down at the ground and shook her head. She looks back at me and tells me everything. The woman called me a bitch again to her and hoped I would get fired for being so rude. Demanded a refund, and that was declined. My manager showed her the paperwork, as it's in the clause that this woman signed. I do tell every guest that checks in that it is non-refundable once they check in. My manager continues about how the woman berated her and said how unclean we are because of a couple bugs in the pool room. Apparently the woman went to hand my manager the key to her room and purposely dropped it on the floor and said, "Whoops." So my manager and I go and check the room. This woman ripped all the covers off the beds, took all the covers off the cushions on the couch, and threw most of the towels all over the room. She, I assume, took the remaining towels and drenched them with water and threw them on the bathroom floor. She also ripped the shower head out of the wall and sprayed a very large area of the room outside of the bathroom. The bathroom was soaking wet from top to bottom. She even had time to eat, since there was a to-go box in the garbage. This woman, I swear to God, was one of the worst. Her whole demeanor was of a spoiled, entitled brat that doesn't like being told no. She was so rude and so haughty. I almost lost my shit. Update: The owner is pursuing a case against her for damages to the room and for the cleaning and maintenance of everything. They had to hire someone to clean up all the water that soaked into the carpet and a crew for repairs. So she's gonna get a very hefty fine. This is what my managers told me. Not sure how much, but I don't think it's gonna be pretty. Wow, great googly moogly. That bitch is insane. I guarantee she trashed the hotel room before the whole pool ordeal and made up the pool thing to try and get a refund before they went to the room and found out what she did. Why she trashed the room like that? I have no idea, but people have done stranger things. Anyways, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed that Entitled People story. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!